Every year, Utah suffers from depleting snowpacks. Penetrating every home, affecting our loved ones, only leaving us to question, what can we do? But there is hope. Behind the curtain, in the bathroom, we can use less. Showers, bathtubs, sinks, sprinklers. And we don't stand alone. If we rise together and unite in purpose, we can take on the threats of reduced snowpacks.
Wow, that was quite the video. What was that?
Oh, that was just a little video that I made.
Why?
Well, you see, Utah has had a dramatic decrease of snowpack over the last few decades. This is a major problem for residents of Utah, as most of our economy and the things that we do depend on our snowpack.
Wow, I didn't know that was happening.
It's real. Send it to you, Quinn.
Flynn, I'm getting kind of hungry.
It's Quinn, thanks. Wait a second. Oh, we're live. Thank you, Dallin. Thank you, Hannah. That is absolutely correct. Over the last 75 years, researchers have been measuring the snowfall at Alta Guard Station near the Alta Ski Resort. The data shows that over the period of time, the Utah averages are just under 500 inches per year. However, over the last 8 years, 7 of them have had snow totals way below the average, including Utah's lowest year ever recorded in 2015. Over these past 8 years, the average annual snowfall has been a mere 365 inches. This can be very detrimental to Utah's water supply. There you have it. You know, if we lose this much water, we won't even have enough water to pour on.
I think Quinn got cut off there, but I think what he was trying to say is we're not going to have enough water for our tables.
You serious right now? That's not how it works. Here, let me give the camera real quick. All right, let me explain to you what water tables actually are. Water tables are actually a way that we use to measure how much water we have in the ground. Water table is essentially the line that goes under the sediment in the pores. And that happens when the snowpack melts or when we get rain and the water seeps through those pores and it hits a part where the water can no longer sink below there. And this water builds up and it leaves a line, and that's how we measure how much water is under our ground. We use what's called aquifers, and these aquifers are storages of this water that the water seeps down into, and we'll have wells and springs, and that's how we accumulate this water. Now the issue with this is that when there's a reduction in snowpack and there's a reduction in waterfall, we get less water in these aquifers, and the less water builds up. This poses an issue because if we use more water during that year than we actually gain, it can start to deplete these aquifers. And what happens is these aquifers can actually become dried up, or they can become more minimal. And this poses a real issue because if we start to run out of this water in these aquifers may not even get the water back that they once retained. This actually results in another problem. See, a lot of workers here actually rely on the snowpack or rely on our water sources. It's about 20,000 jobs in Utah that could be compromised because of this. Say, for example, ski resorts. They're going to have issues because a lot of workers won't be able to work in these environments anymore if we have less snowpack. So yeah, it can be a real issue, and we could lose a lot of money. We could lose a lot of tourism. We can actually end up using more water than we get, and that would end up costing us even more. in a lot of different avenues. This issue can actually hurt us in a more personal way as well. And we're going to hear about that more from Mo.
Thanks, Ken. It's cold for days, then it warms up and rains, and then it's cold again and dry. It's like the precipitation is warmer, and what should be a foot of snow is just ice, sleet, and rain. Now, according to the National Resources Conservation Service, low precipitation in 2017-2018 led to a heavy depletion of our state reservoir over the summer. Snowpack in Weaver and Ogden River Basin is nearly normal at 93%, but compared to last year, it was only 63%. Now, Utah resident relies on snowpack for their water yearly supplies. Also, the tourism that derives on the title "The Greatest Snow on Earth," which rewards a nice dollar amount. Now, back to Hannah and Alan.
Thanks, Mo. Wow, this is a serious problem that Utah's facing. I had no idea.
It is.
Well, is there anything we can do?
Yeah, of course. The easiest thing that we can do is to reduce our water consumption. In my family, we try to shorten our showers. We try to turn the faucets off every time we're done in the bathroom. And we water our lawn at the cooler times of the day.
That's awesome. Well, let's send it out to Dale to see what else we can do.
Tell us more, Dale.
Thanks, Hannah and Dallin. The population of the people living along the Wasatch is rapidly increasing, but the supply of water in the Wasatch is only decreasing as the climate warms. According to current research, Utah is the second driest state in the United States. The snowpack plays a significant role in providing water for the homes and communities of Utah. The majority of the water that accumulates in Utah's reservoirs is a direct result of melting snowpack. Utah's reservoirs are already becoming drier and drier as the snowpack levels decrease. But hope is not lost. As a community in Utah, we need to address solutions now and find ways to better conserve the water we receive from snowpack. The simplest solution to Utah's decreasing water supply is for its citizens to conserve the decreasing amount of water that is already available. People in Utah can start by installing more water-efficient appliances in their homes. For example, a recycling shower can save about 10,000 to 20,000 gallons of water a year with a household of 2 people showering daily. A recycling shower will use 70% less water than the traditional shower head. In Utah, the overconsumption of water has gotten to a point where it should be punished by law. Watering the lawn in Utah during the heat of the day, anytime after sunrise and sunset, should be illegal. Most of the water is being evaporated into the air before it hits the lawn. It is wasteful and unnecessary. Thankfully, the trend of xeriscaping is becoming popular. The whole point is to use no water, but we have to do more than that. We need stricter water laws and regulations. We need to encourage trends that conserve water, and Utahns need to understand the water system. We should talk about water problems in Utah schools so the people are more educated. In the perfect world, individuals would recognize the water shortage and be mindful of their consumption. Now we have to go up to government regulation of water consumption, which is hopefully will achieve better results if well regulated. Another big component is the business consumption. Running a business in Utah, depending on the type of business, can be extremely difficult. Ridiculous amounts of water consumption in Utah may be frowned upon, but not near the same level as air pollution. The water problem is just as detrimental to Utah society, and regulations should be established to restrict how much water Utah businesses use. Back to you, Hannah and Dallin.
Thanks, Dale. Wow, I sure learned a lot today.
That's awesome. What did you learn?
I learned that Utah has a problem, what's causing it, and how we can combat the problem.
That's great. What's your family going to do to combat this problem?
We are going to make sure we are much more mindful of our water consumption in our household every day.
That's all I got.
There you go.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Thanks, Dallin.
kind to Mother Nature.
Guys.
Be kind, conserve water.
Lock the door and
Reduce your CO2 emissions.
What are we gonna say?
You gotta give me your best angry anchor at the end.
Wait. Oh, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Dallin. You guys are absolutely right.
Was that good?
That was great.